was transferring things, so I forgot. All right, people. Yes, we're taking it all down. We're tearing it all down. First thing first, my name is Kenneth Berber Company. It's ILEG Technology Screens. We're taking it all down because we got new designs for a whole new build, whole new setups for everything. For everything. So, my Lord blessed me yesterday with a whole new different design for PC case, a whole different design for our screens. Oh, we have to do panels. These don't even involve panels anymore. So I was building the first one with panels, but then I remember I did the screen way back that did not require any panels. The map, it was very easy to do. It was a way to paint a fabric screen without a paint gun. See, this is why it pays to basically do testing, because we learn stuff from our technology. So I literally forgot about the screen. The 129-inch custom-built screen was a fabric surface that was coated on with a special application that could be rolled onto a fabric surface. And I literally forgot we made this stuff a long time ago. So that's what we're going to incorporate. No panel. And I can make my screen bigger now. I can actually get a much bigger screen. And the new thin system that we're building, it's lightweight, it's portable, the entire thing comes apart. It has abilities for us to put in sound bars, there's ability to put in gaming systems. Oh, it's insane, the things we built. But there's another half of it, the PC case. So Lord blessed us with information on how to design these new kind of sleek 3D design skeleton cases. These things are going to be sick. I mean, I get a chance to now see my PC all the way around. From this side to this side, this side. I don't have to have the power supply in the front. I have to have this in the front. I can put it here, I can put it there, and put it there. It's like a box kind of formation where I can see all the way around and see all my stuff, my artwork, the whole 9 yards. And finally, instead of me building just the front of the PC, I can build all the way around it. And guess what? It's super cheap to put together. Extremely cheap to put together. So basically, we can get all the parts from Amazon to build a PC. We can get majority of most of the parts from Amazon, but the longer pieces to build the screens, we have to go to Home Depot and get those. Now, my screen is roughly 10 feet by 5 feet. It's a good sized screen. So instead of me bringing these long planks of wood, we can break them down. That's what I learned from basically buying a lot of fixed frame screens. Instead of them basically selling them, we got this long 10-foot piece. They broke it down into 5. You got 5 and 5. It connects together, makes 10. That's how I learned from basically all these screens we get a chance to buy and put together. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to put a breakdown system on it so we can basically take the entire thing apart, put it into a little bag, probably about 5 feet high, that's all we're going to need, and we can carry it anywhere we want and set it all right back up again. Now, to make sure that the screws are not basically going to be tearing up the material or whatever, the wood, it's a funnel system. I can't explain it. It's something really interesting. It doesn't involve screws, it involves nuts and bolts. Very easy to do. And you can get super flat bolts. They basically don't cause an imprint, but we're not going to use any form of side brackets to build this thing. That's why we go to the how-to page we have on another site. There's so much information on how to build screens where basically you don't have to go through the problem of getting screen imprint, if you know about that, or basically getting, well, I guess it would be imprint, but the two different versions of imprint. There's imprint where you have the rails in the center of the screen. That can cause imprint. And there's imprint where people make a mistake. Everybody's done it. I did it myself. It's where you put the L brackets in and you stretch the material over and you see the imprint push through and you paint over and you get that eyesore staring you in the face. There's ways to get around that. So your frame is still sturdy, but you don't have to use those L brackets on the side. So we got all that stuff on there. So we're going to be adding this frame and case build. But the case build's not going to be there. The case build's going to be on the new website. I'll tell you, we're building a gaming website for gamers and stuff like that. Mostly a site for people to interlock, talk, chat, stuff like that, share builds and stuff like that. So, you know, you're going to have troublemakers on there, but that's why we have some people that we pay. Their job is to basically find, seek, and remove. That's it. And once you're removed the first time, you don't come back. We ban you for life. You're automatically banned for life. So, yeah, there's a review process and all that stuff. These guys are setting all this up to review your account, whatever. And it's not like you just go in and make an account. These are memberships to get in. So it's going to be a very interesting site, whole gaming network. And it doesn't make a difference whether you're for console, PC, old school. We want everybody in there. We want console, we want PC, with retro. There's so many different types of console gamers. Even pinball, we want them in there too because I actually love pinball. I'm a big fan of pinball. So everybody can come in there, commute together, lock in together, learn from each other. That's the whole process. At the end of the day, I know we have our fun ranking on each other back and forth. You know, that's what we do. But at the end of the day, we're all gamers. That's what it comes down to. You know, when people say, "Oh, we're not all gamers." Well, let's just say they pass a bill that said all video games are banned. How many gamers gaming were PC, console, retro, whatever would all band together to sign a petition so it doesn't happen? See, right there you go. All right, moving on. I got things to do. I got tear down to do. So we already tore down everything, just about everything, because the new setup that's coming in is far better, way better, and I get bigger screens, much bigger screens. Yeah. So it's cheaper, more affordable. Now you're probably thinking, how come that didn't come the first time? Well, all good things come to those who wait. God doesn't give you everything right away. Sometimes you gotta wait for some things. And this is what we got. And I got a new case with it too, which I'm really excited. That's what I'm tearing mine down right now. My case is gonna be beautiful. Oh man, the full, when you do artwork on your PC, you wanna see it all the way around. And I got mine, I got one now to see all the way around the case. Oh man, this is gonna be great. So I got more blessings this morning coming in. These blessings involve the panel system. We don't have to use panels anymore. No more. We do our screens. The panels do leave the little lines in between. The screen, the technology masks most of it, but I want a large solid sheet. That's what I want. And I literally forgot about this screen we built. I was like, I don't want to be doing any spraying. I don't want to do any spraying at my sister's place. I got a garage area we can spray at, but I don't want to be there all the time because they're working and stuff like that. You know, I want something that basically I can do anytime I want to do it, you know, when I want to do it, not on someone else's schedule. So until we get our warehouse unit, then we can spray in there, but right now we can't. But there's a way to basically cover a fabric surface. And I was like, you did this one already. The gaming screen, we built the gaming screen, 129 custom built with light system and everything. It was basically a surface that we showed in tutorials how to stiffen the material by using everyday paint. Turns it flat as a board. Bingo. I have no idea why it did not pop in my head, but you know, you forget stuff when you build a lot of stuff. And this is why I tell people at the end of the day that all that faking it is not going to help you make it, because this you learn stuff in testing. This is how you learn stuff. You learn stuff not to do and stuff to do and stuff that bettered something. That's how you learn out in testing. Trial and error. All right, so I got to take that out of that case, set that down there, and then I'm going to, when we get the other unit in, which should take along our parts and build the whole thing in, put the whole thing together, and go from there. I think with the, and on top of that, the boxes are nice and all, but if I'm doing cardboard, I want to do the cardboard we have in the home front, which is a very thin, yeah, that's a heavy cardboard. We had to cut that thing with a freaking saw, like an electric saw. But the very thick ones we have, we like those better. I do want to do on the other channel, I'm going to do a PC built. We're using that stuff from scratch, so we do strictly from scratch. It's not already put together. And we're going to show those off. I do have cardboard that's designed to be outside. Actually, I told you we've been testing the solution in the home front, sitting in a canister, like we've got one sitting in a canister behind us, and it's just soaking to see how much deterioration it takes. They have to be in about a year in order for us to know they're going to actually work. Well, actually, it's 2 years, to tell you honestly, because then it's 1 year soaking in water to prove it can absorb and not be damaged. And the other one means it has to sit outside physically for 1 year, so we know 100% this thing is actually going to function. The chemical is going to function right. We're not going to deterioration, no breakdown, no mold, all that stuff, kind of stuff we're looking for. So yeah, so mine right here is still soaking back here at the end of the day. So you know, this is all important because we have to know all this stuff. This is why I said in certain products, certain screens you're designing, if you want that certain payload for it, you have to test your stuff. That technology we have over there, the one that reads out in freaking sunlight, that thing is incredible. It looks gorgeous, but it's nowhere near tested. We're still running tests on it. I still have to be outside in the snow. I'm curious how this thing reacts in snow. Snow is a different type of element to be in. Number one, it's freezing cold out there. Your screen could crack, peel, a number of things could happen. Another thing you need to know is that all that white light that reflects off that snow could take your screen out. Did they ever test screens out in the rain? You know, until you put a screen out in rain, you know what happens to the screen? They go dark. You know why? Because the material goes wet. It gets wet and it goes dark. That's why we did those demonstrations where I had screens sitting out in the rain doing those demonstrations from there. You have to know all this stuff. And it has to be on fabric, it has to be on wood, it has to be on different materials that you know that you can take outside. It's not going to have that reaction. That rain will cause all kinds of problems, especially, like I said, snow. Snow, light flecks off there, boom, hits your screen, it'll take it out. So if you get in a situation where a company contacts and says, hey, we got this big snow event coming up, we're going to have the screen out here for a couple months, do you know whether or not this thing's going to crack or peel or have any issues? What are you going to say? I know you're not going to lie. If that thing cracks or peels and anything goes wrong with that thing out there, that means you're responsible for that. See, that's what I mean. People rush your stuff. You think at the end of the day, you shorten your ability to grow. That's what you do. So if you lie and you do that, your product won't go anywhere because you can't get distributorship. Distributorships are major contracts. You make a lot of money off of distributorship. You can't get that. And you can't get an advertising firm to sell your product. Cause if you don't know your own product, how the frick are they going to know it? That's another problem right there you're going to have. There's so many issues you're going to have with that because you didn't tell the truth in the beginning. And then, like I said, any form of event, anything that comes up and they need your screen or they want to try out your product, you have to know 100% this thing is going to do exactly as you said it is, or you're going to have problems. Which means if you haven't done any of this, you haven't done none of this testing, and you sold this product, you get in a lot of trouble for that. So you have to have your stuff tested. You want your stuff to grow, you want to be out there with Elite Screens and Diamond and all those big companies, you want to be known on that platform, your stuff has to be tested. You can't just be mixing some stuff together, hit it with a high-end projector, stick it in a dark environment. When I see that, I see people following the old tradition, which means that there's a rule that they have where basically projection screens are meant to be used in fully lit environments, and that's the case why you develop ambient light projection to begin with. That's the case. They require high and expensive projectors to run and work, which is costly and expensive to the consumer. If the colors don't come out right, one of the solutions is calibrating. And what if you don't calibrate? What if you don't want to calibrate? Then you're forced into that one right there, and you're also forced in dark environments too. So they go by old tradition. Because old tradition allows them to skip testing. That's what old tradition does. Because if any excuses come up, it's just blamed on basically that's how projectors are. That's how it's blamed on. All right, you buy something from somebody, turn the lights on, the screen washes out, they contact you. The first thing you say is, hey, projection screens are made to be used in a fully lit environment. You know, they're made to be used in ambient light controlled environments. There you are. Welcome to ambient light environment world at the end of the day. I'm not picking up those colors. I'm not picking up that resolution count. What's your projector? Is so and so and so. You may have to get a 4K projector. You got to spend more money because now you need a higher resolution for the image to pick up much better. So that's more money. Contrast isn't looking too good. Well, you know, again, back to ambient light controlled environment, so their screen can work, and you're going to have to buy a projector with a much more inkier contrast. This is costing more money. So yeah, it doesn't pan out. But then when they sit there and say, hey, I saw this guy on YouTube, he's in a fully lit environment, he's an operator, his projectors are super cheap. We debunk everything that they state that you have to do. And then they'll sit there and go, oh, well, that's not a real demonstration. The guy's a fake at the end of the day. And this is where we take importance to you. Slander, defamation. See? That's how that would end up. Because we can back our stuff up. That's how it works, people. That's how it works. So that's what happens to the consumer. The consumers get ripped off and they get thrown all over the place. I see them in forum sites chatting and talking. I watch their conversations, what they talk about. A lot of them are unhappy with the screens because they feel the screens, should do what they should do. They're unhappy with the projector. The first thing they do is they blame the projector. That's the first thing they do, is they go out and they blame their projector because they think the projector is having the issue and it's not the projector unless you get a knockoff. You get a knockoff, it's definitely your knockoff. But if you got a legit, real projector, and you're having that issue where your screen's washing out, your colors are not pulling, that is not your projector's fault. That's your screen, because it's gray. That's why. And that's one of the things I'm paying an advertisement firm to do, is to advertise non-stop demonstrations of different caliber projectors versus gray screens. It's not an upgrade screen anymore. A gray screen is an outdated screen. And like I said, any person who makes a gray screen, I don't care what clear company is, at the end of the day, we can go to court over this. It's not a problem. And let's settle this in court. Simple and plain. You need to tell the courts that you're doing exactly as you claim your screen's doing. You said black levels. You can't read a black level. That's virtually impossible. You can't read that. What freaking Houdini, Harry Potter, Mickey Mouse magic are you talking about? You can't read that. So what are you telling them? Sticking them in a dark environment, claiming you're seeing black levels, don't work at all, period. It should work. Black levels work lights on or off. There's a neutral color. There's another one. excuse me, advising them to buy 4K projectors because 720p is not going to run on your system too well because again, you have deterioration issues as it is when you turn the lights on. So again, you cost customers more money to buy that. You spend $60, guys charge you $60 for paint, but spend $3,000 for a projector. How the freak does that even pan out as saving money? Well, over here, my customers spend $300 for paint and $200 for a projector. You see how cheap that is? So it would cost them $500 to do a setup when you guys would sit around and pay somewhere between $3,000, $60 in order to be able to have a setup. Because remember, I told you how this works. Any projector in any demonstration, I don't care who it is, whatever machine they're using in that environment, the only way you're going to get the same exact image unless you own the exact same projector or better. That's how it works. So if they're using $3,000 machines, guess where you're going to be at? $3,000. Because you're never going to look like the same way their setup's going to look like because, again, you're going to spend the money for the projector. It's going to cost you more money. It's a big difference between a $50,000 Sony floor model and a 720p or 1080p or 4K projector. It's a different type of machine. If that was the case and it wasn't really going to change the difference of it with the gray screen, then why spend that much money for a $3,000 projector? We can just get it for like $20 or $50. It's a massive difference because the screen can't fix it. With their screens, you have to spend more to fix the problem. With our screens, you don't. We proved it by buying all projectors under $200. That's the reason why I was going out to buy those projectors under $200 because I can go to forum sites and prove that our screens don't require expensive machines. And we can go where we want to go with these machines where you can't, and your machines cost more than ours. There you go. That's why I was going out and buying all these cheap machines. I go to forum sites. I have discussions at forum sites all the time. So you spend $3,000 and you can't do what we do, and we spend $20 and we can do what you can't do. There you go. There you go. So when I had these discussions, when I do this stuff on YouTube, some people think the world revolves around them, thinking for y'all. No, I go to forum sites. If you really want to challenge your product, really go to forum site. You will meet millions of my kind in there. And they're going to ask you every single question under the sun, and you better be prepared to ask her every single one of them, answer every single one of them, and you better be prepared to back it up because you can't talk in there. You got to back it up. Video proof this thing actually does exist. That's why we don't see you in there. I've never gone there in a debate board, ever seen any of them in there. How would you discuss that stuff? If Jamie goes in to sell that gray screen paint, guess what? There's 30, 40, 50 of them in there. There's a whole lot of people who sell gray screen paints in there, who talk about gray screen paints. They give out free advice for gray screen paints. They'll show you how to make free gray screen paint. There's tons in there. How are you going to compete with that? You're going to say yours is different? You're going to bump into something. You're going to bump into more than people like me at the end of the day. You're going to bump into something like, oh, yes, so where your product at? Where's it at? I'll buy it right now. They're going to buy your product. You're going to go over and do testing. They're going to stick it up on ABS forums, and they're going to show everybody in that forum site what your product really is. Or if they bump into that blacklist, they're definitely going to be posting that. Well, I found this guy did a test on his stuff. He bought all his stuff. He's got cancellations by him and everything. Yeah, you won't do well in there. Now, if I go in there and somebody says to me that my products don't work, I got an entire test page of black versus black demonstrations on all my products. You guys don't have that. I can do that demonstration live on it with no problem whatsoever. I can do it right here when somebody comes with no problem. You guys can't do that. So say you're in your office right now, you've got a gray screen up there, investor comes in and goes, hey, what's the difference between that and gray paint? What are you going to do? Say you're at an expo, you're at a show, everybody show up their screen, so somebody walks in, anybody can say it. If you get to a point you think that no one's going to say that, you're a fool. Someone's going to say it, they always do. If somebody goes and goes, what's the difference between that and the tablecloth over there? They're both gray, or gray paint. What are you going to do? You're going to walk out of the expo? You just leave everything behind? That's what you're going to do? Oh, that's going to ruin you. That's going to ruin your business. So what are you going to do? Your stuff's not tested, see? There you go. That's why you test your stuff. So people who don't test their stuff, they're not going anywhere. This is why we don't consider you to be competition or anything to us, because you can't go anywhere. You became your worst enemy for your own product, because instead of you going out and testing your product to compete with bigger and better screens, you basically kept it at a low profile in order to basically sell just a little bit of money here and there. Just make a little bit of money here and there to try to rip off this person and that person. And maybe, hopefully, do not run the risk of getting dragged into a courtroom. You did not invest in your technology. Us, on the other hand, tested against certified screens by anything we can get our hands on. We did screens inside, we did them outside, we did everything we could possibly think of, because the goal for our technology was to expand to higher levels. That's why we don't consider you to be a threat. That's all. You can't go anywhere. You literally crippled your own product trying to be something big on YouTube. You crippled it. I got a distributor right now in my back pocket. I can have him call you right now. I bet you can't get a contract from him. He's going to ask you a whole bunch of questions. He's going to request for tests. I bet you can't give those tests up. You don't, because you don't have any tests on your products. I can get you a contract right now to sell your product in large quantities right now. I know several distributors. I bet you couldn't answer those questions. One of the distributors basically is a popular guy. He sells for Black Diamond and a lot of big companies over there. The first thing he's going to ask you at the end of the day, he told me for the door, he said, a lot of these people who contact me wanting distributorship contracts never contact me back. So the first thing I'm going to ask for your safety material data sheets. We have ours, that little pop piece we see on the box. Fernando saw it, but it pops up on the box. A little thing, it has a little thing to write everything. You saw it, we have them. You don't have yours. Next thing we ask for business license. You have to have a business license. You don't have that, so you're definitely going to need that. And then about your product, they're going to request all testing on your product before it's sold. Mind you, this is distributorship, which means they're going to sell your product, which means you must know your product. So in your specification sheet, however you have it, you're going to have to back up everything in the specification sheet for them to be able to sell this for you. And once all that's done, if you can back all this up, then you get yourself a nice contract. But if you're in there putting stuff in there like gain range and all that dumb nonsense, and nobody, you're not getting anything. You're like the one-hit wonder in music. You know, they're out there, you little fan, and after that, they disappear. That's what happens. They can't do anything with it. So we go to your site and we go, okay, there's no testing, there's nothing here. We know you can't go any farther. You're stuck. I've been battle with the fish. What was this argument about? So that's why we don't consider y'all threats. You can't go anywhere with that stuff. And we could easily, and we're going through your site and we know we do these tests and we're looking for yours and you don't have them, we can take you to court for any one of those things. There's a lot of tests missing. And we get to court and they go, Mr. Bird, you know, your lawyer challenged me. What do you know about black technology? How bad do you think you're going to get screwed in that courtroom if I open my mouth? I know more about black technology than you do. So, again, how bad do you think you're going to be hit? You're going to hit pretty hard. We know our stuff. I got testing for days. Heck, we can upload. Oh, another reason why the blacklist was designed. Another blacklist, the black versus black testing screen was designed. Court. So that way the judge can see in one hit. We have to put one video here and one video there. We can put an entire page of all our testing and send it over. That's why if you go to our website, you'll see something called demo. You'll see something called testing, and you'll see something on the other half that says black versus black. That's so when we go to court and someone challenges my capability of knowing my own stuff, I can basically pull those demos, pull that testing up. That's why we have something called the happy page and customers. Pull our customers up. They're all giant pages we can link up. There's enough evidence to back us for years. That's why we build them. Yes, sorry. Gotta think. That's what I said. You have to think ahead. You have to build for the future. Right now, we're sitting there showing our gaming technology, and we got technology in that corner that I showed you. I backed it up 100%. I walked all over Allentown, little tiny 300 lumen projector, 50 lumen projector, and I walked all through Allentown, and I showed you that technology running. We showed you test that thing knocking out high-end screens. We showed you submerged underwater. We showed you everything what that technology is designed to do. So that thing is already set up for 2026 for investors already. We showed you window advertising, do it, all kinds of stuff. See? That's the future technology. That's building for the future. So we already have technology designed for 2026, 2027, and 2028. You guys haven't even thought about the new stuff now. You got the same old stuff. But that's enough about that. I gotta finish my teardown. Gotta get my thing out of here. I got things to do. You know, I say and remind myself, never dwell. Don't waste your time dwelling on the past when you're building the future. You'll never get anywhere. Let's see. These are all held in by one piece up here. One piece. So they're held in one little piece. Right in the bottom half too. Come on. One piece. Oops, keep you in there. Power supply, there you're going back. Keep in there. Yeah, for the time being. Fixing you. Everything here for the time being. So I'm stripping you down and taking you apart. Ugh. That right there is good. Alright. Alright, I think I have to blade this. How will we put this thing together up front? And I do want to get that machine out of there too. Lay that one down. For the new system, much more better, sleeker. And again, I finally get a chance to see the whole PC, which means I can see the front and the back on it. So I'm building a retractable. Actually, I'm going to be working on making the entire thing wireless, because I'm going to put it on Lazy Susan so I can spin them around and show them off. So the whole thing's going to be wireless. It's not really hard to do. Microphones wireless, headsets wireless. Or we put the thumb drives in for that's wireless. That runs off Wi-Fi anyway. Keyboard and mouse wireless. That's it. Everything will be wireless in there. I want the complete thing wireless. No wires or nothing. Put it on Lazy Susan. I'm going to slowly turn. So I got a device I'm putting that slowly turns it around and shows off the whole thing. Isn't God cool? See? I'm telling you. Lord gives you amazing ideas. And people say, what about the power switches? You can get the power switches wireless. All the power switches can be all done wireless. So they've done the whole entire thing completely, no cables, no wires, nothing. Is that cool or what? Tell me God ain't amazing. You're talking about, look, at the end of the day, when you got people who basically come at us at the end of the day, do you understand who we serve at the end of the day? We serve God. God has infinity knowledge. He can show you how to build things out of the most insane stuff ever. Like the most simplest stuff. Do you have any idea when you walk through a place that you don't realize there's certain combinations that you can put together that can make you millionaires? But you don't have that knowledge. You don't have that capability to understand that. God has that capability. He has that knowledge. If the Lord blesses you how to put something together, like you come in there like, okay, I'm going to put this, three things. It can be three things. You can literally be staring at the supermarket that if you figure a way how to combine them together, millionaire. Just like that. Just like that. That's how amazing God is. I think that. Just like that. Think about the person who made famous Amos cookies. Or Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's. So all those people maker companies. McDonald's is a hamburger. But their hamburgers don't taste like everybody else's hamburgers. Their fries don't taste like everybody's fries. There's something in there. Coca-Cola. Biggest trademark secret in the world. There's dozens of versions of Coca-Cola, but there's only one Coca-Cola. That's the part that you guys don't understand. You don't understand it all, period. That's what you don't get. You think you can make my product. People have been trying to make my product since I've been in business. No one's been able to do it. Not one company, no one's ever been able to mimic any of my products, not one person. You know why? It's my blessing, that's why. And those who try to attempt to do it, the outcome has been bad for them. Because you try to steal from me, you try to steal from God. God doesn't like that kind of stuff. You smile upon people, go, oh yeah, you're going to take my Christians, my servants' blessings and do what you want. No, you're going to pay for that. There's judgment behind all that. But think about that. You could be sitting at the supermarket and you could be staring at 3 ingredients. If you put them together, they may make an interesting taste that can make you a millionaire. But you don't know it. You know why? Because God can't open up your mind and give you that blessing because you're sinning. That's why you can't have it. It's right there staring you in the face, but you will never ever see it. Now, we started making this stuff. I can't tell you what goes into it. But I can tell you one thing. It's the most simplest process I've ever seen in my entire life. But yet the outstanding results are absolutely insane. Insane. And it's simple. And this is why I realized that God is infinity knowledge. He knows all things. See all, know all. And he can bless you to have that ability to be able to see what's right in front of you the entire time that you can't see. But if your intentions are to become a Christian, to get rich, then you don't know what you're doing. You're not getting blessed. That's not going to happen. It ain't about that. It ain't about getting rich. It ain't about that whatsoever. You can be a Christian and be a poor man and be richer than a rich man. So you got to understand the whole term behind that one. But yeah, there's blessings all around you. You can't have. You don't have access to that because you're too busy serving the devil. God ain't gonna bless you. He ain't gonna bless the devil. Why would he bless you? You're not gonna get that. So we have in our ingredients coding, we have been blessed, and I can't tell you what it is, and I never will. But we've been blessed to have a formula that pretty much gives us 90% back to everything we make. Which means it literally costs us nothing to design it. And if for people who out there and try to make it, that's why we give you permission to make it. You know why? Because we know you can't make it. It's a blessing. It's our blessing. You can't make it. The outcome of even trying to do it is costly. I'm not talking about cost as expensive. I'm not costly as in basically spiritual judgment. I'd rather get sued any day of the week. I'd rather take a lawsuit any day of the week. I'd rather lose everything I have and go do spearmint judgment. I've done those before. Those are not pretty things to go through or not. If you didn't believe in demons, you will. I've seen them. I've seen too many to count. But, at least I was protected. Thank God I was protected. I couldn't imagine if I didn't have protection from God when I saw those things. They walk right up to you, know that? Sometimes they only come out at nighttime. Oh, no, don't be that stupid. Please don't be that stupid. They can walk right up on you in the street and have a conversation with you. Now, if you can't see what they are, you got a problem on your hands. And that's another thing, too, about the blessing about being a Christian at the day, because you can see that craziness before it starts coming. The minute they walk the street, like, oh, my goodness, that's whatever right there. You start praying to the Lord, Lord, pray about it, and that demon will get discouraged and go in a different direction. You have any idea how you're... See, that's the thing I try to explain to people. You people don't want to be on this planet, and you want to do what you want to do. Well, there's other things on this planet too besides you. You ain't up here alone by yourself. There are other things walking on this planet watching you every single day. And you think they're not bold enough to walk across the street and have a conversation with you? Heck, they are. They walk in church. It says in the Bible, Satan was walking through heaven. And the Lord asked him, where are you going? He said, to and fro. Now they know they don't have ability to do what they want. They have certain limitations of what they can do. But just imagine, you just sitting out there and one of them walks, you're going to come in true form? Why would they come in true form? That's the dumbest thing you can do. For them, that'd be stupid. You got this dragon walking across the street, tail swinging on tongue and teeth. What would you want to do? You're going to run for your dear life, right? He'll scare you away. He won't never get your soul or get your put you in damnation if he scares you. You got to come across the street like a friendly person, Come off a truck and just come over and talk to him and say, hey, that's a nice lawn you got there, so and so. You would never pick up on it. You would never see it. Christians can read it. They see it. Like the 2 old women that walked up to me. I would have never known in a million years they were demons. But they were. Because I started seeing things in them that didn't seem right. And the Lord was warning me and talking to me the entire time. Don't get close to them. I've had a few people I walked up to, and I took a couple of steps back. Because I knew something was wrong with them. I can sense it. But some people, you don't have that ability because you're not saved. So you would never see it when it's coming. You got to be careful about touching people. You got to be careful about, even Christians, got to be careful about laying hands on people to heal them. You don't know what's in there. I told you about a woman when I was sitting up in the hospital. I said, what's the creepiest thing you ever seen come through here? She said, there's a woman that came through one time and she wasn't right. And I said, what you mean? Like, not crazy? No, she was possessed. Yeah, they walk in, and they sometimes they go in areas, people screaming and yelling out there in the street, and they think something's wrong with them, and that person is demon possessed. I said, what happened? He said, well, somebody came in that was a Christian and said, don't touch her. And she screamed and raged while she was on that bed, and then they let her out, and she walked right on out. And it wasn't like, she said, it wasn't like a normal walk when she was walking. It was demon possessed. Now, if they had touched her, they'd have been in trouble. Sometimes those bodies that they get, they deteriorate. They start to fall apart. And they need another body, another host. And they'll reach out and grab you. And you gotta, if that scares you at the end of the day, it should scare you. Because if you think they only come out at nighttime, in the morning. Two of them came out at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And the Lord allowed me to pick up on it and see it right away the minute I saw it. You can smell the body. You can smell the flesh, the rotten flesh. You can smell it. The stench off it was absolutely unbelievable. So you can tell they were dead. Whatever was in front of me was dead. And you can see the flies. It just flies in their faces. And the eyes were shifting back and forth. I knew what they were. And then they had this weird looking book in their hand. It didn't even look like a normal Bible. They wanted me to actually hold the Bible. Yeah, it's going to reach out for you and grab my hand. Lord said, stay back. Back up slowly, and I backed up slowly. You have to be very careful, and I even myself have to be very careful how you address people, because you never know what's in there. And you'll meet something, all right. That's why it doesn't pay to be big and bad on the earth, because there's other things on the earth that are much more bigger and badder than you. But yeah, I've seen stuff. I even seen one and I don't know what form that thing was at the end of the day. It actually showed its true form, and it was a distance from me, which I'm thankful. It was running on the rooftops. So as you're sitting home watching TV, there's something can be running across your rooftop. And this thing was big. I mean, it was big. It must have been roughly, I'd say, the size of a bus. That's how big it was. But it was an animal, some kind of weird looking animal running across the roof. The first time I saw it, I didn't think I saw what I saw. I thought I was seeing things. But then I looked again and I saw it. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah, it was running across the rooftops. It's big. Like some big black animal. A cross between a rhino and a tiger. It was something weird looking, but it was big. It was the size of a bus. And you probably think you wouldn't hear that. You wouldn't hear it at all. But yeah, you gotta be careful out there. There are things out there that are roaming around that are watching you every day. They've been watching you since day one. They've been watching you. Waiting for their time. They're waiting for their time to get in there and get to you. Yep. But we forget about it. You know why I forget about it? Because we get caught up in our lives. That's why. We forget about it. We get caught up in our world, and we see this stuff in the horror movies, and we just think at the end of the day, it's just something in a horror movie. That's basically about it. Not realizing that this is real life. You're living in actual real life. So imagine you're in a horror movie, watching a movie about the devil, when they're sitting right next to you, probably watching the same movie with you. So you're actually living in that actual movie. The only difference is that actual movie right there is pretty much, that's the end, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But yours is real life. Because if you don't get it right, you'll end up with that sitting next to you eating popcorn, and that internal whatever damnation he's going to be in, and you'll get a chance to see that true form, which nobody wants to see. Yeah. So you're actually living in a giant, let's say, put it this way, those of you that are not walking with Christ, you are living in that movie. Yep. Go to the club, meet a woman, you'll never know what you're bringing back with you. You don't know what you're coming back with, because they're there. People say, they're just in clubs. They're everywhere. Everybody want to go. God permits them to be to go. They walk in churches. My sister told me about a woman walked in the church and started barking like a dog. Not a human dog, dog. Like a real dog. And she started foaming at the mouth and carrying on. And the preacher saw this and told everybody to slowly leave out of the church. The only ones that could stay behind are the ones who had true faith that could cast it out. And they had to cast that woman out. Cast that demon out of that woman. The reason why she probably had some control for a split second to try to save her life is to run up in that church. Hopefully someone can cast it out. And the reason why you need strong members is just when that demon leaves that body, it's going to try to find another host. Now that same demon that left that body is out there somewhere trying to connect to somebody. That's why there's another thing you have to think about at the end of the day too. Those demons that do have the ability to be able to possess, they're out there looking for a body. You ain't saved at the end of the day. You got no protection. You're not covered in the blood. None of that whatsoever. And they're going to be looking for you. So the world's a lot more interesting than you think. At the end of the day, you read the Bible, you're going to find out a lot of things about this world that are basically going to shake down to your foundation. And this thing is still plugged in. I was wondering what I put this in. Oh, man. I am so glad I'm not on that side of the fence anymore. Thank you, Jesus. I would never, ever want to be on that side of the fence. Isn't that amazing God is? Look at it. Look at this. I was looking for butterflies for my setup, and I didn't paint these things in yet. I'm going to paint them in probably today. But I didn't set them up on here yet because the Lord had plans for me. I couldn't figure out why I kept delaying putting these on here. I kept delaying. And now I see why. The Lord had something better for me now. So He got a whole new design. I can see the image in my head how we're going to put this whole thing together. It's going to be the most easiest build ever. It's going to be so easy. I'm building all my cases. Like, as a matter of fact, the new steampunk PC I'm building is going to be designed the same way. It's going to be an interesting build. I'm making a 4-dimension build. Can't actually tell you what that is. Hey, there's a roach. I might take him out today. I'm definitely going to take any time to get out today. I'm going to take my buddy out here. I might get a hat and glue right inside of the hat. That'd be kind of cool. This is my buddy. Let's talk about friendly fights him all the time. All right, that's over here, here. Now, for this part right here, this whole part right here, we're taking this all out. All this is going to be gone. We're going to put in a system that will allow me a base system here, and it's going to sit here, all made out of wood. And this is going to allow my PCs to turn over here and here, because I want to be able to see my whole setup. I do want to put mirrors behind them, so that way I can see the PCs from the back. Really thin mirrors are to match the sides of the PC on this side and this side. But this right here, we're going to take all this out, and I'm putting in a panel system that allows for a projector to sit down there, small projectors, and it'll be the images here, here, and here. I want a kind of a display popping off from my table. The one I did where I had the whole fire running across the table back and forth, I want that there. Okay, let me see. All this. That's a cute face. Do we really have to yank all this out? This is not connected like that. I should be able to pull that entire system out with no problem. Let me see. Yeah, all the flowers and stuff will still be embedded. Let me see. Where's the kill switch for this thing? Yeah, kill switch. Kill switch is on the floor. That's another thing too. I can't wait to put the kill switches in. The kill switches are basically wireless. No more wires. I'm done with it. I'm tired of it. I'm gonna do the whole entire thing completely wireless. Now, bookcase is gone. So, bookcase has already been scrapped, gone. What we're going to do with that, the new one we're going to put in, is going to have a fish tank in it. I've been wanting to build one for the longest time. I want half bookcase, half fish tank. Maybe one of those thin tanks, we're going to do it in there. The Cumies can sit upright just like this in portrait mode. We can run it through a small PC in the back. The PCs are a tiny, small PC. Hook it up in the back, hide it on the background in the fish tank, because I want to hit in the fish tank. We're going to have real rocks and all that stuff and get a little background. We're going to coat all the plants and everything with that invisible coating so it reacts to the projector. But we're going to put a mirror system in there. The mirror system, if you're showing anything and demonstrations I did back in the day, we took a Cumi 2 and we blew it up to like 150 inches on a wall by using the mirror trick. That's what I'm using here. It turns a regular projector into a short throw projector. And unfortunately, you can't get you can get not the small picos. You can't get the small picos in ultra short throw. I wish you could. It'd be kind of cool, right? But you can't. So we have to make our own. And I want a fish tank in there. And I can change that to fish to whatever the frick I want, which is pretty cool. I'm going to put a fish tank in that one over there. Which I wanted to do the first time around. We're going to do it this one instead. Now the reason why I like the wood better, because everything we have in here comes apart. Which means when I get ready to leave from here, all I got to do is just take it all apart, put it inside a case. I got a case I'm getting designed for, and I take my furniture on the go. All my screens, whatever I want. Make sure I'll take everything on the go. I'm getting customized bags with the name on them. So we're going to charge for these frames? No. All the stuff we're building in here is going to be absolutely blueprint. It's going to be free. We're going to put everything on our page we have on Crystal, where Crystal used to be at. It's going to be at www.ig. Oh my goodness, I say that a dozen times. ILEG technology screens info. Yeah, so that site's an information site. So we're going to put all that stuff on there. We're going to know how to build the stuff for free, cheap, easy to put together. Then we're going to be adding stuff to it like speakers, sound bars, all that stuff like that. We're going to gradually upgrade them, put all that information on there. So if you ever want to build this stuff, it's easy to put together. And show you we got all the parts set and everything, so you know exactly how to assemble the entire thing. I got to expand that list too. I definitely got to expand the list. I'm going to show you how to build a levitation screen without basically hanging it to the ceiling. Pretty cool design. Let me see. Or 2 projection screen setup that has front and rear capabilities. That's another one we're working on. But we'll get to that. I gotta get back here because I gotta pull this thing out right here. Got to go in circles. Okay. We got chasers up in here, which we don't need the tile system now, so I have to pull this out and move stuff here. I gotta get to the art machine too. I'm craving for art, man, people. I'm craving for art. I want to go to the art museum and see the art. Let's do that. This is not tangled around anything. It looks like it is tangled around everything. Let me see. Oh, the tracers on it? I did tracers right there. The tracers might be in there. So, I got the tracers in there. Hopefully we don't rip them, taking them out. Then I can put a little cloud system on my desk. I built a nice little tiny cloud, put on my desk. Over here. I want to do something cool with that. Got this piece of artwork I want to do. Nope, doesn't involve any cardboard. Well, we can't get cardboard for it. We can buy cardboard, but I want to do something different. I built with so much cardboard, it's not even funny. I'm going to do some other stuff with the other cardboard, but this, I want to do something different. I got a different design I want to do. I want to definitely somebody taking pieces of just objects and putting it together and make artwork. I want to try that. Yeah, I like abstract art. Oh, this will definitely come out. We got no problem with this, so this is easy. Because these are weatherproof. When you ain't got the ones that are non-weatherproof, they rip. This will come out. Yeah. These will definitely come out. These are the weatherproof ones. These are the ones that are actually more sturdier. The ones that are not sturdy, it looks like it's a little ripped. And this is going to come out. Good. I need these. And I'm very happy about the new builds. The new builds are going to be real nice. very excited about that. So I'm going to get all this done. We can order all our parts from off of Amazon. Build our PC. But it's interesting because, like I said, I'm staring at these parts. I've seen these parts before, and I didn't know how we're going to assemble and put that together. And it was right there. I was staring at these parts the entire time and didn't even know. And then now the Lord hits my eye. Boom! I see this vision now, and I go, wow, it's right there. I could have put the whole thing together this way. But like I said, it comes to when the Lord's ready for you to have it, then that's when you'll have it. If it's not ready for you to have it, then you won't have it. You can have 3 pieces, 6 pieces of something sitting in front of your table, and you can stare at this all day long. Then the Lord will give you that blessing of knowledge, and you'll put 3 of those pieces together, millionaire. But it was sitting there the whole entire time. You don't have the ability to see what you're blessed to see. You'd be surprised. When the Lord blesses you, you see things so much better, so much better. And that's what I said. I've seen these pieces before and never thought that if I put them together that way, this is what I would get. So when we get people who get upset and angry and bitter about these blessings, guess what you just displayed? You just displayed Satan himself. That's what you did. When you get angry over another Christian's blessings, you make you angry and you want to go on and you want to basically say nasty things about that, that's the devil right there. And the devil's getting you in trouble because you're talking about God at the end of the day. You're not coming at me at the end of the day. You're coming at Jesus. You're coming at God. That's who you're coming against. That's where I get my blessings from. And if you want to basically question a Christian at the end of the day, which some of you have, and you're going to pay for that nonsense, you know what the outcome is going to be? That outcome is not going to go well for you. You want to question my blessings, my relationship with my Lord and Savior, the outcome is going to be horrible for you. Just like I told you, coming down to your state to get you would have been a headache. It cost me a lot of money to keep going down and coming because I'm going to have to come back. That would cost me a lot of money. But I'm looking something up, and my buddy was like, how are you doing this? Because you have lung disease. You can't get on an airplane. Yeah, the pressurize. When they pressurize the cabin, that can kill me. So now that kind of, when I think about like, wait a minute, how the frick am I travel all these places I want to go to? Because then that kind of puts out the back burner too, because I really can't travel anywhere because of what's in my system right now. So with that being said, you have to come here, which means we can get automatic court order. We have to go through any form of crazy paperwork or none of that stuff, or they don't consider you to be dangerous enough. No, you have to come here now. Because I can't go there because of my lung system. And because of my lung disease, which again, I told you, I've been seen by 6 of the top doctors in Pennsylvania because my disease is considered to be extremely rare. And because of that, because it's documented that Mr. Bird does have this disease, I am a risk. If I fly, I could die. Which means that the expedition, or whatever you guys want to call it, it can't really make a difference to me, means I can automatically get this. You'll be brought here. So that means I don't spend any money for airline tickets or nothing. You're going to have to do all that now. See how the Lord protects his people at the end of the day? Even with what I have in my system right now, that again, the Lord has blessed me to be able to do the things I need to do. But also, because it's documented, I can use it against you in court. Easily. Because it's true. It's not something I'm making up. I'm not lying. I have a disease. So at the end of the day, that lung disease that I have permits me not to be on airplanes. And because I can't be on airplanes, and we did file charges against you, you have to come here. You have to go. You don't let it go because of that. No, they got to bring a marshal out to come get you. They got to bring you here. Now, either they're going to give you a summit from the court and say, hey, look, you have to go to court and and you have to post it. It's going to be in Pennsylvania. You have to come out here now. Make a lot of you upset right now, don't it? Make some of y'all scared to death right now. But what did I tell you at the end of the day? You didn't want to mess with the Christian. You didn't want to take my beliefs and my religion and my blessings, and you wanted to go out and you wanted to do what you wanted to do with them, right? This is the consequences at the end of the day. Everything comes with consequences. And that's not the bigger one. The bigger consequences you're going to have if the Lord decides to call back what belongs to him and you have never got a chance to get saved, pick up your cross, or follow Jesus, or never been forgiven for any of your sins, you're going to burn in the lake of fire forever. That's even worse. So I told you, that things were going to be, people, I explained to you in 2025 that a lot of you are going to be having health issues, and some of you are going to be drawn into court. And a lot of you sat back there and thought that, hey, look, I'm on this computer, I'm on this cell phone. He's not going to figure out who I am, and this, that, and the other. And I told you, Lord was going to bring you to justice. Did I not say that? Now, because of this situation, detective units get involved, and detective units had to figure out how many people were involved in this whole entire scenario. You know what detectives do, right? They're like my buddy. They're like cybers. That's what they do. They go in and they dig up all information with the YouTube accounts, all kinds of stuff to figure out who you are and where you live at. We live in the digital age, so it should be hard to find you. That means you'll get a notice at the door, or maybe a process server on how they're going to go about it, explaining to you that Mr. Bird, I have filed charges against you, and you have to go to court. Now, because of my lung condition, you'll be flying over. So that means anyone I choose, I can bring you over. If I got charges against you, I can show that you have basically committed these crimes. I just go down to Allentown Police Department, I file a charge against you, and then I go from there. If it's a federal crime or something involving cyber crimes, which most likely it probably will, I go to the FBI. And the FBI's job is to figure out where you're at. Not my job at the end of the day, it's their job to figure out where you're at. And once they find out where you're at, then we get our whole thing ready for court, and then that means at the end of the day, you'll be coming here because I can't get on planes. Makes my life a lot easier. So, besides these individuals, I got 27 people that are on a list that are involved in with Fernando and climbing. So all we have to do is just point to that list and show evidence. Can't be showing, oh, this person right now is a witch hunt. We have to show evidence, and we do have the evidence. We've been to your accounts and all that stuff. Don't bother deleting anything; it won't help you. We've been to your accounts. We have documented a lot of stuff. You saying my name over and over again. You posting my pictures, and you slander my products, slander my stuff. I got tons of stuff on you. And mind you, the lawsuits my lawyer's going to be going for, he wants at least a minimum of 20 years in jail, minimum of 20. And he wants lawsuits ranging from anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million. That's where our cap is going to be at. $500,000, $500,000 to $1 million, and 20 years in prison. You prosecuted a Christian. That's what you did. What do you think the outcome is going to be? And now you got to pray to God, because you are going to pray, and ask Him to get you out of the situation you're in. And you prosecuted these people. You know, all that, and the Lord saw you when you were on there carrying on and acting up, saying all this nasty stuff about me. He saw that. He witnessed all that he saw. He saw all that. And he saw you probably thinking at the end of the day, he probably heard all your thoughts. He definitely heard all your thoughts. Saying that, oh, he's never going to catch me, this, that, and the other. The Lord heard all that. And think how crazy that is. I mean, think how wild that is. That's my protector. I serve God. And God heard you carrying on and acting up on your computer, doing all this dirty stuff against me, and thinking in the back of your head that no one was ever going to find out about it, and God was watching it the whole time. That's like a police officer sitting right in your room watching you do all this stuff, and you're saying, oh, no one's going to catch me. A law would never figure out anything about this. And he's watching the whole time. That's literally what you did to yourself. And you think at the end of the day that the Lord, almighty power, is not going to bring you to justice? If a Christian goes before him and says, Lord, I need help. These individuals are attacking me. I did nothing wrong. Now I sat there and said right in the middle of court, if I did anything wrong, may the Lord out me. My technology is so advanced. Now we got a whole new projection screen setup coming through now. So I'm blessed. I'm getting blessed. It doesn't sound like a person at the end of the day that I'm doing wrong against God. But anyway, getting back to this, the Lord heard everything you did. So everything you did, everything, every thought, every process, everything, God heard it. And He knows everything. Don't worry about man at the end of the day. It's just the problem with us being who we are. We worry about man. We worry about what man hears. We don't worry about what Heavenly Father hears. He's the last say. He's the one who decides whether or not you take another breath. He's the one who decides whether or not you end up in heaven or hell. You burn for eternity, or you have eternal paradise and happiness and joy in his world. He decides all that. He is the last person who makes the final decision on this planet. No man, no army, no dictator, no king, no one can make the final decision. Because you know why? God is immortality. He lives forever. We don't. We perish, we die. That's what we do. So that would be the one that you would want to be good with. Not thinking you have to show something to man at the end of the day. And that's what you guys were doing. You thought you were hiding all your secrets from man. when God heard everything you said. Everything. Now, if I go before my Lord, who is my protector, and I ask him, Lord, I need help with this, guess what the Lord's going to do? He's going to find each and every one of you, and he's going to bring you before the courts. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing to do about it. You're thinking in the wrong direction. You're thinking by man's law. This is God's law. Divine justice. That's what you're going through right now. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to go. You can't even think anything without him knowing before you think it. Mind, before you even think it, he knows it. There's nowhere to go. And if you think at the end of the day, well, maybe, if I get saved and become a Christian, you still got to go through it. Because you committed a sin, you have to answer for it. That's like me when I went out and committed all those crimes and say, oh, because I became a Christian, I should be let out of jail. No, I had to go through, I still had to serve time. So, no way around this at all, period. There's no way around it. And you can move to another state, I don't know help you. God knows you went to another state, God knows everything about you. Where are you going to go? Where can you go? Think about it, you got to think at the end of the day. Where can I go that God doesn't know? I like that. Where can you go that God doesn't know? Think about that. Now you think about even greater. Any thought that goes in your mind, before you can ever think it, God knows it. So where are you going to go? You can't block him out from think. Whatever you think, he knows. He can hear everything you're saying. He can hear what I'm saying right now. And you're the ones that lift up your heel and struck a Christian. What do you think about that? The reason why, if you sit there and say that the Lord is not a merciful God, you're still breathing, aren't you? If he wasn't a merciful God, I wouldn't be here having this conversation with you. If he's a merciful God, I wouldn't be having this conversation. He would have struck me down a long time ago. I was out in the streets carrying on and acting up. The Lord will hold you over the flames. You will not go through a learning process. But he's merciful enough not to drop you in. But you will go through a process. You go through a learning process. So if you think you got away with it, nah, you don't get away with anything. You get away with nothing. Nothing at all. You know the people who have it the worst? The people who have it the worst are the ones that are not caught. They have it the worst. Because those are the ones that think they got away with it. And those are the ones that think that if I got away with it, I don't have to repent, I don't have to find Jesus, because no one will know. That's the biggest lie you can tell yourself, that nobody will know. God knows. He already knows. But nobody will know. And then if the Lord does not bring you to him, and you pass off this earth, and you're going to a place that's far worse than anything you can imagine. You didn't get away with anything. Not where you're going to wake up at. You didn't get away with one thing at all. That's the way it is. There's no way to get away with anything on this world. You can't. It's impossible. You can't hide your thoughts from God. That's never going to happen. God can see you anywhere you go. You can be under divine judgment under God. And divine judgment is actually pretty good. And I'll tell you why. It's something you will go through. You will learn a lot. And there are things you will never forget as long as you live under divine judgment. But if you're under divine judgment, this is God calling you, telling you it's your time. But you need to get it together. Because you're going to call on him anyway. And in the lockup system, you're going to call him. You're going to call on him. You're going to call the devil. He's the one that got you there. You're going to definitely call him. So, you're going to have to come to him sooner or later. And if you don't, then guess what? The devil's going to finish the job. So there ain't much of a choice there, is it? Now, you'll find out if you do become saved and do become a Christian, your life is going to be much, 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 much better than you ever had it ever before. It'll be much better. You can see things a lot differently. The world's a lot differently. You're out here talking just like me at the end of the day. Warning Christians, tell them about your trials and tribulations, about the stuff that you did. These guys would make excellent Christian warriors. You know why? Because they prosecuted a Christian. That's what they did. They did all the stuff that the devil told them to do in the situation they went through. Gentlemen, you're about to repeat my life. Do you know that? You're literally about to repeat my life. You're going to go through the prison system, just like I did. You're going to repeat my life. And it could be a way that you may become Christians out of this. But those who don't choose that path, I guarantee you, I can tell you from personal experience, he will come for you and he will collect. So you don't have much of an option there. When you're in a situation, when you're out here in this world and having fun and whatever, you know, you carelessly throw away your life. But when you're in there in a lockup system, there isn't much of an option you have in there at the end of the day. It's all about survival in there. Spiritual survival, which is basically the highest in there. Because you got plenty of people in there that are going to try to take your life. There are plenty of people going to try to abuse you and whatever else they're going to do in there. There's a lot of them in there. And you need God more than ever in that situation. And this is where you're going to have to know more about trust. You're going to have to know all that in the day. There's a difference between a soldier who's not in the field and a soldier who's in the field. Soldier's not in the field, really, is not thinking about survival tactics and all that stuff, how to survive, to get from A to B and whatever. He's not thinking about any of that stuff. But a soldier who is in the field has to think about that. He has no choice. There is no other way around the situation. He has to do this, because if he doesn't, he may not come back. This is the situation you're about to be in. You're going to have to choose. And if you don't choose correctly and you play around with dumb people in there, you're in a lot of trouble. I need that protection. I need the Lord. And that's why I find it interesting that you're about to repeat my same path when I was 16 years old. I was 16 years old. I was out there running the street doing what I want to do, carrying on and acting up. I had no consequences. I had nothing to pay for. I could do what I want to do. And the whole entire time, God saw everything that I did. Every single thing that I thought everything I did. And I thought no one would saw it. No one saw this. No one saw this at all, period. God saw everything. I was guilty of all that sin. I was going to put to death. And I was going to burn the lake of fire for all that sin. Even saw right down when I first stole my first candy bar. Everybody has something they first steal. Some people never stole anything, which I find remarkable. But some people have stolen stuff and dirty stuff. And you feel that guilty feeling, that real bad guilt. You know what I mean? It's horrible, ain't it? But then you don't feel it anymore because you become sensitized. People still become sensitized. You don't feel that anymore. They don't feel like guilt. You stole something. But yeah. When you first steal something, anything, the first bit of sin, because you don't get sin when you first start the baby. Babies don't know sin. They don't know the difference between the two. No, pure. That's when you're pure. You ever notice you can't remember anything about? You remember a little bit. Yeah, actually, truthfully, you can't remember any of that. Yeah, you can't remember any of that when you were born. In your first stages of being an infant, you can't remember any of that. You remember none of that, because it's not meant for you to know that world. That's a world without sin. You're cursed at the end of the day. You will know sin. So the minute you start to realize that you know sin, that's just when you pass into judgment. That's when it activates. So from that timeline on, everything you do is written in the book of judgment for prosecution. Everything. And if you read in the Bible's kind of strict about sin. It's all in there. Gluttony, adultery, lying, cheating, stealing, envy, pride, it's all in there. Now the difference between a Christian is when a Christian becomes a man of God and they get saved, they get baptized. That means all their sins they have are gone. They've been washed away. They're a new person. A new person. Spirit filled with the Holy Ghost, they're a different person. They don't have the urge anymore to do those things in that past life. They have no urge for it. You meet a friend of yours that you used to drink every day with, hang out and all that stuff every day. You drink, smoke, whatever, and he becomes a Christian. He goes, "No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to do that stuff anymore." It makes him depressed. That's why. It makes us very depressed to be around that stuff. We don't want to be around it. Even to hear somebody curse, it hurts. Change person. Happier person. Like, man, whatchamacallit, he used to be depressed every day. He's the happiest person I've ever met in my life. You know, guy suffered from depression. He became a Christian. He is the happiest person I've ever met in my entire life. There you go. God fixes the problem. Any problems that you had when you were out there sinning, he fixes that problem. You don't have that problem anymore. It don't exist. So, it's a good thing when the Lord chastises you. It says in the Bible. It's a very good thing. It means he basically he cares for you. He's looking to save you. It's a good thing when God chastises you. It's a good thing. It means God cares for you. That's the difference if you have a child. Your child leaves a bike outside, you roll over the top, you crush him to damage your bike, you're going to wreck your bike at the end of the day. You're going to get mad at him about that. Definitely going to put him on punishment. Why? Because you care. You want to teach him not to take care of your stuff. Don't put things in the driveway. Have more respect for your stuff. And especially for people who buy stuff for you. But the other parent roll over the top of them, whatever. You know what? Just get you another one. You don't give that child any guidance. That child's going to grow up in the worst way. God cares for you. That's why he basically chastises you. You wonder why? If things ain't working for your life and everything is going wrong for you, God's calling you. That's why. It's a calling from God. That's what happened to me. Everything went wrong for me today. Everything went wrong. It's a calling from God. You ignore it, sooner or later, that calling might not be there no more. Yep. But anyway, I'm going to take this apart, get this done. But gentlemen, you look at it in the way that this is, you're going to be going to the prison system and all that, and your life is over and all that. It's not over. It just began. You're about to get a new lease on life. Is it better that you're locked up in the system? And the reason why? You can't do anything. You're your worst enemy at the end of the day. Look what the devil has you doing. The devil had you do enough stuff to get you prosecuted to court. That's what he literally did. If he kept it going, he probably would have killed you out there. This is the best thing that would ever happen to you. You go into the system. You got to become a Christian man. At the end of the day, you're protected by God at the end of the day. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff, but you still are going to have to be true to the Lord. You're going to see yourself changing bit by bit by bit. You're going to be a totally different person when you come back. If you come back out, if the Lord blesses that. And he may bless that. He may bless for you to have the ability to leave. You may do 10 years. You may do 20 years. You may do less than that. The Lord can sustain your health. There's everything. He can do all types of stuff at the end of the day that you'd be surprised. But you don't want to surrender yourselves. And if you're going to sit there and say, you're Christian, how are you Christians? Have you seen the acts that you committed? The devil has exposed you. God has exposed you before the world for everyone to see exactly who you are. You're not Christians in any way whatsoever. And then Jamie has a habit of putting God bless, and you better stop doing that, because if you're making a mockery of God, you're out there committing all types of sin, and then you want to keep using the word God bless. God can't bless you. He can't bless you. Now when you're doing Satan's work, how's he going to bless you? And yet you want to keep putting those words in God's mouth as I'm blessed. Okay, you keep playing with that. That's a very dangerous game to play. Extremely dangerous if you want to keep doing that one. Let me see. Alright, let's yank this baby out. We got the whatchamacallits over there. That's all out of there. Let's get this done. So, easy. I made them so basically they pull out. Definitely make some pants. I'm going to do for my setup. Or you're going to start this. Oh, no. You're going to pull the whole thing out of the case. So when you get ready, all these are going to be just taken apart to put into the new case. with all the lights and everything. We're going to hook all this up. So when we do the whole entire thing, we're going to take this out. All this is getting scrapped. We don't need it anymore. So the new cases are small. They're going to be about a foot wide and they're 2 feet high. It's a little box. They're setting up. They're not big at all. They're designed so now I can see the case all the way around, which I want to do. So we get all the parts from Amazon and pretty cheap to put together too. Very cheap to do. Very, very cheap to do. That's the whole purpose. Build cool stuff, costs very cheap. Let me see. Anything else in there taking apart? Can I pick that whole thing up and just take it with me? Oh, I can take it with me. Heck yeah. Hey buddy, what you doing there? I'm doing nothing. You know, we don't have to do anything to do. Stuff to do, buddy. To this. Oh, we did seal to this. Definitely seal to this. Oh, we did. Let's see. Where's the blade at? And again, with the fish, man. You and the freaking fish. Stop leaving that thing for me to trip over. I swear I'm going to lock up your fish. You're never going to get it back ever again. You're never going to get it back ever again if I trip over that thing one more time. Every time he sticks it right there. Right under my feet. I swear, I think you're trying to kill me. Let me see. Weird place to leave it at. Next time I see you fighting that thing, you're taking it back where you bought it from. Alright, let me see. Where's the blade at? You would be in the room. So I'm finally going to get a bigger screen. Big screen. Yeah, bigger screen. And one whole panel. No more panel system. So the new material we got, I'm going to make the portrait and I'm going to make the whatchamacallit. The portrait's going to be thin too. I'm going to do a cool thin portrait system setup. And then I'm going to do a 3-dimensional screen setup. Oh, and the fish tank can be sick. Let me see. Here. We can make it over here. It is free. Free to give love anytime. I'm free to live my life anytime. Love me. Oh, yeah, 'cause I'm free. Cut pieces of plants. I find it interesting. I try to keep a straight face to it because I don't try to be disrespectful for people. I really don't. But I bump into nice ladies at the end of the day. We have good conversations and all, and they always ask me, "You never get lonely?" Is it stuff I do every day? Like, they don't know about my walls in the day. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. No, I can't see myself, holding hands with somebody and walking. I got things to do, man. I'm a busy person. I'm always building something. We're putting in a whole new system in here. I can't do that. I'm on a Saturday morning sitting there picking apples or something. It's not for me. Did that one already. Once I try something that don't work out, whatever, experience it already. At least I say I've done it. I never go back to it. I'm done. Moving on. Something else to do. I can't see myself giving somebody that much of my time. I got too much to do. I got too many things I want to do. Life is short. I'm 57 this year coming up. I don't want to be tied into a relationship. I like my freedom to be to do what I want to do. So, you know what I mean? I want to sit in the park sometimes and chill, be to myself. I like to eat by myself. Everything I like to do by myself. I don't want anybody. I don't want to sit at a table and enjoy a movie or just basically just enjoy my food, my own thought without somebody telling me da. Like I said, some people get offended by this and go, "Oh, that's you." If you are offended by what I just said, then you might not be happy with your situation. But that's not my problem. Near here nor there. I'm talking about me, not you. You get offended by tomorrow. Well, you think, "Oh, that's you." You said that. I didn't never say that. I said what I like about my situation is I can live my life the way it is. And I got friends that are married. Look at yourself. You say, "Yeah, married life is bad." Never said that. You said it. That's you saying that, not me. I said that I like the fact that I have the freedom to do what I want to do. I can imagine. Like right now, my friends that are married are God knows where right now with their spouses doing this and doing that. And I'm in here building this stuff with them today. And I should like, this is what I'm putting together. But they're like, "Wow, man, when you get them done, I got to come down and check that out." Each his own, I just can't see myself spending my Saturdays or whatever. But no, I can't see it, man. When I get done this, I'm going to go to the park, chill, play my game system for a little bit on my phone, with the battery pack system. Tops is going to chill out there. Later on, we meet up with some friends. We'll do something at the art museum with them. A little banquet thing going, and check that out. But then I'm going to visit my people. A barbecue going on down there. I like freedom to go where the freak I want to go. I like that. Don't get me wrong. I was in a relationship. It was fantastic going here and there. But I like being by myself. That's the kind of person I am. So if I'm sitting at a table, I learn to see people sitting at a table, pretty ladies sitting at a table, and they're enjoying themselves. Leave them the freak alone. You know what I mean? I'll be over there saying, "Hey, how you doing?" That's the reason why they're over there. Get away from people like y'all. Live your life. And I want y'all's life at the end of the day. We don't want it to be live our lives this way. We think it's kind of heavy. Sheesh. I think it's kind of heavy. Can you imagine if we had to move this thing out of here when it's time for us to go? Jeez. Oh, heck no. See? Everything happens for a purpose. I told you, we're warehouse hunting. We're in the process of looking for a brand new warehouse place to work at. There's no way in the world taking that out of here. That's how heavy. That thing is pretty heavy. On top of it, it's bulky, it's huge. The new system we're putting in is so thin. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Like all the pieces of wood we're using are only around 2 inches high. That's it. 1 inch high and 2 inches wide. That's it. Thin and very sturdy. And we'll give me the blueprints on to put it together. So yeah, and when it's time for me to go, grab my bags, take everything apart. Like I did the frames we gave back in the way, we gave away back in the day, built the frames, put it all together, put it back together again. Boom, boom, that is a lightweight too. So yeah, I like that. So when you start having these type of changes, we're giving you information on how to make things better, lighter, more advanced, and you're actually looking for new places, we're just getting ready to set you up. So we have a warehouse. We can take everything out of here very neat, take it all apart, put it back in, put it together, done. And on top of that, free blueprints. Anybody wants to do it themselves. But before we can actually start, we have to tear down, like you see in the thumbnail. You can't build a house when it's half built, right? Gotta take it all apart. We got the moving in circles. Dismantling. Now, top of this area, where he had the whole perch area. Oh man, wait till you see the new design that's coming in for him, for his design. And it all can be taken apart. So I'm going to have a theater screen with cat, what are you going to call it, cat seating area or perch or whatever. But anyway, he's getting that new technology, that black technology we make. I'm going to put a projector on the opposite side, so that way he can see his screen without the projector and pushing through and causing any problems. He's going to be the first one to have it installed in. So it's going to be hooked to a magnetic system. It locks right to the side of the panel. It's kind of interesting how it's put. I gotta say it's bunker. Very interesting how to put this bunker together. All right, so this is the entertainment unit. Here, very easy. There's no heavy pieces of wood at all, period. Not even needed. All right, so we have here and here, here and here. This is Taco's area right there, right down here. But he likes to be a little higher up, so we're going to have him right about there. So this side right here, I can put Taco's screen here, and I can put projector right there. Boom, boom, and he usually sits right up in this area right there. Easy. Easy to do. Very easy. It's going to be pretty nice. I might put in his surface here. I got these little panels I'm buying, wooden panels. They're cheap. They're like $7 if we're building doll houses and bird houses with. We can panel this top area right here because I want all these areas to have, like, I don't want actually we can use those panels. Those panels are very cheap. I think I'm going to go with those panels. They're about the same size we need to build for these. So they actually be just attached in, but I'm going to screw all those in because I'm going to take everything apart and put it back together again. But yeah, we'll have separations in the panels here and here and here and here and here. And I'll put mesh in here and here and here, heavy mesh. You can't fall through these things. On top of that, I'll have a nice little rail system because we're going to put fans here, and fans here, which will hook up to a system down here, and that will allow air to flow through this area with no problem. He likes cool air underneath him from time to time, so that'll keep him nice and cool. Yeah, we're going to build him a nice little system. Then we'll put some cat designs in here and something cool, cat house and whatever, and then I'll put a little piece of Velcro here and here. He likes to be covered up, and we'll have this little flap here, this little mesh will come down there. Isn't that pretty cool? All from the compliment of the Lord. Yes, all from the Lord. And we can run a nice neon system. Taco loves blue. He loves blue neon. We put blue neon on the floor, he rolls around it. He loves blue. So I'm going to put a nice soft blue here, here, and here. So you can have here, but I want dimmers in here to control his lighting in here. You can make a white light. You can make whatever you want right here. I might do lighting system here and put this in separately for him. Yep, so that's a new one we're going to build for him. And the whole thing comes apart. Everything comes apart. That's why when I put the screen here, the screen's going to be magnetic. So the screen is going to be 12 by 12. That's it. Projector right here. Fill that whole thing up. Yep. That's where Taco Cat. Taco Cat. Raging Taco Cat. Taco. So he's mad because I tore down the other one. I was like, no, we're building better. Better. Much better. Have his own system put in there. You can listen to his whole music. And they have on there a little output on the back of it. So I can run his speakers here and here. I want speakers on each side. So there's a little theater system in there for him. Is that cool or what? He's going to be the first one that's going to have that sun vision technology of the Blackbird. And the first one to have it. Got you going in circles. And I had some fun with it. When I take him out and I get this little carrier, we'll watch some cartoons off of it, me and him. We'll record it using the screen outside. Taco's when he's the first person to have it, we'll take it outside, watch a TV show, like Cat TV off, I'd like to have some fun with it. There's our Taco Cat, Taco Cat. Taco Cat. Taco Cat's from 1946. Oh yeah, all new canisters coming in. All new canisters. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to show you how to make wooden PC fans without worrying about the screen. A fan's warping or falling apart or any of that nonsense and going with intense heat. I'm going to show you how to make fans, turn plastic fans into actually looking wooden fans. We're giving the blueprint for that too today. And they're cheap too, very cheap to do. And you can do them at 5,000 RPMs if you want. Yeah, we're going to have some fun building this. Well, we keep seeing the fans are going through the steam pump system. Those fans are different. They look, they're made out of metal. They're sick too. They got multi-screws in them and everything. Things are sick. We're putting our own lighting system. So we're buying black regular fans. We run our own RGBs. We want to put them in. We do a lighting system. I was looking at the kits for RGBs for hooking up your own lighting fans. So why would I go out and spend money now for these RGB fans when I can actually build them? So that's the whole purpose of being a modder in the day. You figure out better ways to be able to build parts that you don't have to buy. So now I can just go buy a basic black fan and convert them into anything I want. I'm going to do a series of custom designed fans. We do in different ways, how they're painted, taken apart, different ways of changing the ball bearings, the fast or whatever. So you have to do all that stuff. That's going to be on the new website we're going to be working on for our gamers. Now to customize your power supplies and all that stuff. Go and buy yourself a cheap power supply. You can run lead lights to it, the whole 9 yards. They got customized power supplies right there. How to paint them up, all that stuff. This will make a difference. Consoles mod 2, the intercom mod. Basic, easy mods for beginners, for people who want to do console setups. If your console a little different than everybody else, we can show you basic, simple modifications you can do that won't basically do what you want to. And then we'll show you how to build your own. We got screen setups because we have big own screens at the end of the day. We have gaming screens we can build and stuff. We got a lot of cool stuff I'm going to show up on that site. So all that stuff like the sugar plum fairy, all that stuff, the customized screens, they're all going to be on that site. And that's where the marketplace is going to be at for that technology. So we're going to transfer the entire page. I might just rebuild the whole thing all over again and transfer there. That's where they're going to be available at. Have our own network in there where you guys can communicate, talk to each other, chat rooms and stuff like that, and share pictures and demonstrations and stuff like that. Now, like I said, if people want to go in there and want to act up, you get banned. You get a permanent ban. Depends on what you do to a ban. But, you know, you're not people like that other guy in there carrying on and acting up. You're not welcome in there, by the way. Besides, you got bigger problems right now. I told you, we figured out where this joke was laying its head at. You want to be sending some nonsense to the mail, right? That's what you want to do? All right, no problem. Now, because of my situation at the end of the day, I'm going to pull you out of your state and bring you down here now. Good luck on that one, Chief. Get yourself an attorney. You know who you want. Next time you want to send somebody some nonsense to email, make sure you have a, well, forget that. You can get around that too. And point that either too. Man. Like, really? Seriously? You people really don't want your freedom like that? You really want to be behind bars? That's what you want. Jeez. No, Your Honor. I'm getting tired of this whole freedom thing. I mean, being able to go where I want to go and eat what I want to eat, do what I want to eat. I'm just tired of it, you know what I mean? I want to go somewhere where I have no rights whatsoever. And, you know, I'm at the mercy of the court, and judges, and lawyers. I'm just looking forward to that life. I'm getting tired of having the ability to be able to do what I want to do. I'm just tired. I just want to be locked in a small little cell, you know, smaller than my bathroom for the rest of my life. I can't wait. That's what you guys act like. Jeez. See, that fast. You were in it because we couldn't even touch you at one point. We couldn't touch you. Stuff yourself, Mr. Mayor, so we don't care about that. But the devil got you to do something stupid. Because he needs for you to go do something. So he can get his hands on you a little bit closer. And what do? You go do that. Just like Fernando. Fernando was in the clear. We couldn't touch him. He didn't do anything. He never touched my copyright. He was just talking a bunch of trash. But the minute he started making accusations that our products were this, that, and the other, started touching the copyright, so that is, we got him now. We can get him. Oh, by the way, Fernando, I'm expediting you from California to Pennsylvania. So you're going to be the first one. Mr. Williams will come second. We want you first. But you're going to be first one. And you know how that's going to work out, right? trigger off the domino effect. You know, people don't know. He has a lot of stuff going on right now. He's in a lot of trouble for. That's going to initially kick off the domino effect. Court order. We'll do it. So he's the first one I'm following against. And after that, we'll take care of Mr. Williams, McAfee, Rogers, and there's one guy called Matthew. I'm letting Matthew go. I haven't heard anything from Matthew. Not a thing. Not a peep. We can still get him. 7-year fraud. We can get him on 7 year fraud charge for a company is about 7 years. We can still get him. Statute of limitations on that. But now I'm gonna let him go. He's just an idiot. Should have did what he did. I'm gonna let it go. Some people, I mean, just haven't heard nothing from him, so I don't care. But these other guys I have, so yeah. I'm definitely gonna get you down to Pennsylvania. Especially you piece of guy, you're definitely coming. Yeah, no business doing what you did. Common sense, man. Common sense. Got to go in circles. I gotta pick. I say between lead lights. Oh, the liquid. I've never had liquid lead lights, but I didn't know how they even made these things. The tube is a liquid that goes back and forth. I'm definitely getting on for the setup. Magnetic keyboard setup. Oh, wait to see that design. Yep. Whole new setup. I can't wait. And the cases, I still can't believe that I was staring at the exact same parts. And who can do that with them? That's amazing. I gotta go pick up some other stuff to do. That's cool. All right, so pretty much we got the PCs down. They're good to go. PCs are down. PC ready. That's the easy part to take them things apart. They'll rip them apart. Put them in new cases. I definitely get my new cases put in. So I'm gonna do cases first. Actually, no. I'm gonna do cases. Two cases. Knock these out. I'm definitely doing the screen over here, and we're putting in Taco's bunker. I have the screen I have to build for the invisible screen is very easy to do. Oh my goodness, I think it's going to be easy to do. I'm going to have it on a slide ride on rail system, so I can slide them in one by one and lock together. Like a Pez dispenser. That's how I'm doing it. Like a Pez dispenser. All that hardware from over at Amazon, or I can get it over at, or probably Amazon. Get it Amazon. I want to get it shipped in. The only price I got to go is they don't make 5 feet, 5-inch pieces of wood. They don't make that, and that's what I need to build the screen. The screens are made out of 5 inches of wood, so they're joined together. 5 and 5 is 10. You know what I mean? When I got equipment here, I can just cut it to where I want it. If I want to get it up just right. It's going to be 7 feet, but then again, no, 7 feet. I'm probably going to do 5 feet. 5 feet. Because monthly rent is 5 feet. No, 6 feet. 6 feet. I want to make sure I got enough in there for my setup. It's taking a while to record. So, Saturday, pretty sure you got things to do. I do. So, I'll let you guys go. They're pretty much going to scrap all that, and we're pretty much done. That's it for me. Now, just in case, clear something up. I told you that a mail is forwarded to an attorney's office, right? So, buddy, we know where you're at, so you know that. The guy who sent the last postcards with Canada, stamps on it, we have all your information, so you know that. I'm going to expedite you here to Pennsylvania. You've been threatening us to the United States Postal Service. We know that. So with that being said, I know where you're at. Matrix did the courtesy of digging you up. So, mind you, I told you, Matrix is a cyber cop. Not cyber cop, cyber detective. Put a better way to put it. That's what he is. And he works for firms and stuff like that. People for lost kids, deadbeat fathers, stuff like that. That's what he does. But anyway, he's a legit guy at the end of the day. And he dug you up. So, I'll see you in court. And by the way, I'm going to sue you for $1 million. So you know that. I told you, lawsuit between $500,000 and max we're going to do is $1 million. And since with the harassment and what you've been doing, constantly sending us messages, we know who you are, you're going to get 20 years for that. It's cybercrime. It's a basic charge of cybercrime. It's 20 years. And because you're a part of this whole Jamie mess at the end of the day, conspiracy charges will be added on to that. So let me explain something to you from the door so you understand. This is what the attorneys read back to me. First things first, I know a Postmaster General. I know multiple post office workers at the day because you know why? I mail off a lot of stuff. 15 years worth of orders, shipping off packages, just about everywhere you can name it on the planet. So yeah, I've been there and done that already. Second, if there was anything wrong with what I just did, I've been making these things for quite a bit, which means I would have been hit a long time ago. I know these people. I know a lot of people at the end of the day. And I ask a lot of questions. Matter of fact, I have friends of mine who work for the post office. Now, if I'm selling this stuff, if I'm making furniture and I'm selling it, I can get in trouble. See that little logo sitting on there? Like what you guys did today, touching my copyrights and all that stuff, those trademarks you were touching, you can't sell that at all, period. They're not for resale value at all whatsoever. So you can't do that. But if I basically were using my own personal use, no. There's no trouble I can get into that. If that was the case, I've been hit a long time ago. And I showed some of my PC builds in the post office, and you can see the logos on them. Yeah. So you're talking about something in Chicago. This is the reason why I tell you that you guys don't crack books and you drink a lot of pool water. This is why. First things first, that's in a totally complete jurisdiction right there. That's like your mail, you being in freaking Pennsylvania, your mail going all the way to Chicago. Why would it even be there to begin with? The post office worker would be in Chicago. The main branch would be in your state. That's where it'd be at. So if you had to go pick something up, you're not picking it up from Chicago. You'll be picking it up with the post office, which is in your area code, and zip code, which is in your area. That's where you would pick it up from. Even if you were in your own state, there's no way in the world you're going to pick it up in an area code that's going to be 3 miles from you. You pick it up the closest hub it's going to be at. That's where it'll be at. So to sit there and say that that you have individuals coming down, no. First things first, they would contact me. I would receive an email from them because I'm on file. My business is on file with the United States Postal Service. This is where I get my boxes and stamps and stuff I need. If I need something for printing, anything I got, I've been with them for long. It's much easier. Because when I was living over in Haventown, I got that account set up Because when COVID kicked in, it was easier for me to have boxes shipped to me instead of me going to the post office and running the risk of getting sick. That's how I set the account up. So they have me on file. I've been on file for a very long time. On top of that, I ship a lot of stuff on top of that. So with that being said, I think they would have basically handled that situation already if it was such a huge crime I was committing. Second, to tell you from there, I told you, I've shown off my designs. I do show off designs all the time. And you can see post office logos there. So again, unless I'm selling this, I'm making a profit off of it, I can get in trouble. Now, my teardown is because I got a better design. I can see by the boxes we had in here, they're big, they're bulky. They take up a lot of room. They take up a lot of room because they're bulky and they stand out. The new frame system we have coming is super thin, super sleek. And again, if I got clients coming in, I don't want them looking at boxes. I want them to come in and look at like a customized or a better looking screen than that. It's more professional at the end of the day. So that's another route I want to go down this road also too. And then the new cases we have, again, win-win. I get to see my entire PC wrapped all the way around. I like this new case. It's easier, it's cheaper to put together, less money on glue, less money on paint, less money on a lot of stuff. So yeah, Lord always blesses us with different ways on how we can show our products off. Mind you, I'm going to need these screens when I go to expos. How the freak am I going to hang these panels up? How am I going to hang up my screens if I don't have a frame system to put them up? Can't be using this stuff. It won't work. I got to need something I can take apart, put back together again. Which I'm going to be showing off one of the new frames at a place where I want to do demonstrations at. We're going to assemble, put the whole thing together, carry the entire frame system and stand in a bag, take it over to our setup, put the whole thing together in no time at all, and do a demonstration. There you go. See? Everything happens for a purpose. It doesn't happen because you think it happens because of you. It happens because of God. If God changes our direction for something, that he has something better for us, then it's because of him, not because of you. You're on the judgment. That's what you have to worry about. Because God knew your intentions of sending those letters out were to make trouble for me. Look, my landlord at the end of the day has come in here. You've seen him. All right? My landlord does people work at the post office. He's a businessman at the end of the day. So you trying to convince him to turn against me ain't going to happen. So just to let you know that we know where you're at. I know where you lay your head. I know everything about you. So I got a private investigator to dig you up. And now I'm going to see you in court because I'm going to expedite your behind from your little state down here. And we're going to handle this like men. Not hiding behind postcards, not hiding behind a computer, not hiding behind this, that, or the other. No, you're going to meet me face to face in a courtroom like a man. And we'll settle it there. And I guarantee you, I promise you, my friend, that when my attorneys get done with you, this is where you're going to live at from now on. Pennsylvania in the prison system, I guarantee you. Got my word on that. And by the way, you owe me $1 million because I'm going to sue the daylights out of you. I keep telling you guys, cut it out. Mind your business, enjoy your life, and move on. But you don't. So you don't want your stuff, I'll take it from you. And you don't like your freedom, I'll take that too. All right, see you soon, buddy. Now, I got to get this stuff scrapped up. You're going to get a TV. You get rid of that TV on the floor. That's driving me nuts too. That's another reason why he's getting the screen put in, because that TV on the floor, again, looks unprofessional. You got people coming in here, and you got a screen sitting on the floor, and it's a screen at that. If I'm supposed to be representing, our technology, it has to be our technology only. So the fact that he can sit there and watch TV off one of those rear projector screens, this is going to be hot food for demonstrations. Any type of one? Pretty cool. But yeah, about to get my own screen, daddy-o, 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 daddy-o. Now I forgot, I gotta get him a Cumi. I gotta buy him a Cumi. These are $40. They're cheap. Get him a Cumi, because Cumi has a reverse mode on it. We can rear projection mode, so we can run it through there. Top was gonna have the first setup. I'm gonna make one little party setup. I'm gonna put some catnip in there for him too. Want some catnip? I have no idea what catnip does in there. But I know what your intentions were. I know what you tried. But let me tell you something. You go back and you tell Satan he failed. That's what you do. He failed. Miserable. Your handwriting. I keep telling you people, he hand wrote the letter. That's how you're able to figure out where you were at. I told you, I can't explain to you enough. You live in the digital. I just literally had this conversation yesterday. Live in the digital age. Your handwriting, yes. Those pads they give you, write your name on it, whatever. Or you write your name. You know when you write your name, they scan that into a system. Yeah, you really don't know. Some of you really are unaware how deep you are in the digital era. They can track you down through handwritings. There you go. Gave your information up that quick. And then you ran it to the post office. All that's time stamped and all that stuff. It's easy to dig up. Gave up your information. You might have just got on YouTube and said, here, with a piece of cardboard, this is where I'm at. That's how easy you made it. And then that guy at the end of the day, it was easy to dig you up. So, ready for court. What difference now, people? You don't have to take it to me. Well, he has to come. No, you'll be coming to me from now on. Well, you should get a little vacation time, right? For I don't know, whatever happens to you down here. That makes people nervous, very nervous. People are scared for the fact that they're going to have to leave their state to come to another state, not for vacation, for prosecution. That's scary. That's very scary to think about that. Well, you know, everything happens for a reason. Yeah. Everything happens for a reason. And I used to sit there in court and say, well, look, he said on camera, he's healed, he's healed, he's healed. Yeah, but by man's law, I'm not. Because those doctors are going to say what those doctors are going to say no matter what. And I don't care what Mr. Bird says. I'm a certified doctor at the end of the day. If I say he has it, he has it. There you go. That's what I've been fighting from day one. So you're going to go through the same thing I've been fighting from day one. You're going to tell your lawyer, yeah, I got him saying he was healed and this, that, and the other. Yeah, I can tell him that all day long. I'm healed, so and so, so. But I'm not trusting a pressurized unit, which I have not tested yet. Now, I've tested rain, I've tested snow, I've tested certain areas that would give me complications in. I've been around people with perfume that trigger off too much, and cigarette smoke and stuff like that. But a pressurized system on a plane, and you mean I'm going to be on this thing for a couple of hours, which means anything can happen? No. We're not doing that. That's a different story. It's a different type of element and area. But on top of that, there's low oxygen levels on planes. That'd be a dangerous place for me to be at. So because of that, and because of the top doctors I had can sign off on that thing in a hot minute, you're coming here. So why can't we go over there? Oh, I have a lung disease. 200,000 people in the entire world have it. You have proof of that? Yeah, here you go. How many doctors you want? These are all top doctors in Philadelphia. They signed their name to something that's gold. Okay, you can't go over there. I can sit right now. You just have to bring them over here. That's what's going to happen. And guess what? They don't pay for airline tickets. You pay for that. That's going to come out of your pocket. So Fernando's in California. Well, Fernando's not going to make it to the airport. He's not going to make it. He's going to be pulled. Because we have to explain to him why he may not be able to come up here due to the fact that he's undocumented. We have filed with ICE against him, so he's not going to make it. They have to come to his address and go get him. He's going someplace else. He will not be in court. You can't get mad about it. There you go, put it straight. If you're saying, on top of that, you're saying it's racist at the end of the day, Fernando. How is it racist? Did you break laws when you came down here? You did, right? Touching copyrights, right? Touching our copyrights is breaking the law. I don't care who I'm at today. I can be George, Janet, Frank, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. I can be cat, dog. It doesn't make a difference. They're my copyrights. I paid for that at the end of the day. They're protected by the United States government. And you went in and slandered and did whatever you wanted. That means you broke the law. And if you broke the law, that's what that means at the end of the day. That ICE unit that comes down, that's proper fitting. They're supposed to remove people, you know what they don't. But for your case, it's going to be proper fitting. Because they've removed individuals that break crimes and commit crimes in the United States. And that's what you did. Now, you get on YouTube and you tell people right now you're innocent, you did nothing wrong. And so many people laugh at that comment. On top of the fact that you ripped off a bunch of major companies in the process. So you're going to tell them I'm innocent. I did nothing wrong whatsoever. That's why they call him Mexican Trump. That's where he got the nickname from. You know, Trump does stuff and right out in front. Everybody sees it. Millions of people see it. And he goes, oh, I never did that. I never said that. I don't remember recalling ever saying that. No, that's got to be a hoax. Okay. Guess all this is a hoax too, right? Okay, good. All right, let me see. That's all scrapped now. I'll let you guys go. I got all this stuff done. I got to do is break these machines down, take them apart. But I'm going to wait till I get my cases built before we do that. Scrap all that, get that done, and that we're done. That's it. And I got to start building my setup. I got all the screens here needed, and especially visible screens here needed to do the fish tank unit, which I can't wait to do that. I don't know what kind of sea monster I put in there. I want a sea monster in there. I want something interesting. Not creepy, but I want something cool, something big. You don't like sea monsters, do you? You're a weird cat. All right, let me see. And that's it. Oh, definitely want to hook that up. Definitely want something there to hook that up too. There's one of his huts over there. We're going to hook you up 2 huts. We're going to put another one over there. Oh, I got a great idea for the one over here. I'm going to put in a ceiling system for him. The projector shines down, and we can put all kinds of fish this way so we can look up and see his fish. That would be sick. We can do it 2 different ways. We'll do one going down and one going forward. Like I said, the Pico tuning projectors, we get them for $40, $50. They're cheap. So we do one going forward and one going down. That way he can see the fish going down and we can see them on the other side. That's going to be sick. Let me see, people. Or should we put a cube in there? Because we're building this out of wood. It's pretty easy to do. We can put a cube system in there. Yeah. I find that interesting. Why don't we put a cube system over here? Put a cube system over here. Because I don't want the plexiglass just to the front. I want it to the front, side, and back. We're just building a frame system to lock everything in. Yeah. You know anything you're thinking, right? Like, come on. That'd be pretty cool. All right, well, that's about it. It's kind of like when you guys are going to say, well, why do you talk about them? It is a tear down. We're getting rid of you guys, one by one. I'm going to gut the system. I'm going to get rid of you, one by one. I'm going to track every single one of you down. Well, I'm not going to, once the FBI and all them get involved, that's their job in the day. But I got the private investigator just in case we get finance individuals. We had to take them to court, but now this is different because now we got an investigator involved in this. They're going to be digging up you guys. But anyway, yeah, it's a way of basically tearing it down. See that house right there? Tearing it all down, start with new. So we just get rid of all these original trolls, get them out of the way. We're going to basically make you examples so you know that. Because I'm explaining to the judge that we're going to make sure we have it where you guys don't get a slap on the wrist. We want you to get hit with very serious charges. We got serious charges already with serious crime. Time. We want you to get a lot of time out of this. And very major lawsuits. I don't want to be ever heard that term, I'm going to hit you so hard, your kids are going to feel it. It's going to be like that. You're going to be hit with so many lawsuits, so much jail time, that anyone you two even thinks about it at the end of the day, they're not going to want to do it. And you're going to be posted. Everything's going to be posted to a website. I want people to read what's about to happen to you in there. Because this is going to be a learning experience for the people, what we do to people who touch our company. So that's why I'm explaining to the judge that we need to make sure we don't have any copycats. And you've seen from the first one, Jamie's fantastic for that. The first one, who started all that, he had other people who copied behind him, and he coached them into doing this. So we need to make sure that doesn't happen again. So we need them to receive maximum jail time, which means you may reach over 20 years. But we need that, because there don't anybody copying behind you guys. So we have to use that example. You're going to pave the way for basically, as in the no-no of touching my company. And if that means throwing you in jail for 50, 60 years or the rest of your life, then that's what has to be done. But between that time and there, you're going to have to basically find God and figure out how He's going to work out from whatever from there. You know, as long as you serve the devil, you're going to do that time. You know that, right? As long as you serve the devil, you're going to do everything, all the judgment, everything's going to come your way. You're going to go through it. All of it. And if you're thinking about becoming Christian for the simple fact of, so you don't have to do time, remember, God just heard you say that. So you can't get away with that either. But that's the person you need for you to get you out of those situations and make you grow as good Christian men at the end of the day. But if you think you're going to be slick and try to trick God, you're the most foolish individual on the face of the planet. And go back to Taco Bell. I got to go. I got to get to work.